that delay is horrible. I need a quad core. Let's bump this down. In resolution maybe. Is this? No, that's unwatchable. Okay, 1 second here. Video capture device, properties. Let's try. Alright, let's try that. Oh, that's still bad. Oh well. I'm gonna have to live with it. Okay, so let's have a look at this board. You guys tell me on this board. Let's have a look at everything, and you guys tell me what you think on this board in chat. Do I have sound? Do I have sound? Yes. So have a look at all this corroded stuff, right? That cap looks real nice. This whole area looks real nice, doesn't it? So Apple quoted this person $775 for a new motherboard. As you can see, it's pretty corroded. Cleaned the screen connector already. It was corroded. Doesn't need to be replaced though. Let's have a look on this side. Your Thunderbolt. Backlight driver did have a little bit of corrosion. I'm going to go ahead and throw a new one on too, just for longevity. Stuff by the SMC. Oh, it's pretty corroded. SMC itself looks okay. Let's have a look at U1950 on our SPI area because that's a common cause. SPI looks fine. U1950 looks fine. So, funny thing is this actually did not work when it got here, and then after I took the board out and probed around, after probing around and doing, you know, just measuring and looking around, surprisingly, but I cannot leave that on the board. Quick ultrasonic be like, no, yeah, but I need to replace some of that stuff. You can't leave that on the board. If I ultrasonic it, I offer a 1-year warranty. They're gonna call me back in 6 months, say it doesn't work. So I gotta replace, and they're paying the same price regardless of whether it works at ultrasonic or not. So let's start. So this area's got to go for sure. Cannot leave that on the board. Just take off our DCM board. Sounds like a stuck MOSFET. What sounds like a stuck MOSFET? Hang on. I'll try and listen to my own video. Use fake address? What? What sounds like a stuck MOSFET? Hang on. Nothing sounds abnormal. I don't know what you mean by use a fake address. Alright, so I'm going to start here. Just going to repeal and replace this whole area. Let's see. It's out of focus. For warranty. No. I don't mind giving a 1-year warranty, so just get Flux there, this whole area right here. You know, we're gonna replace that regulator. Doesn't look too bad otherwise. We're just gonna replace stuff that I know that might fail. This MOSFET's gotta go. I can't leave that there. Gate of a MOSFET might have been stuck open, and then exactly that could have happened. It was probably this MOSFET right here too. So let's go ahead and repeal and replace. Curbside warranty not here. I actually don't get any warranty returns. Well, I've had boards come back that that I've missed stuff on and haven't replaced because I didn't see it. But as far as my work failing, it hasn't happened yet. And some of them are already reaching the end of their 1-year warranty and they've survived, so that's good. These boards heatsink really well, so, and my tweezers are lousy. One-year warranty gives me a little edge too, because not many people offer it. Come on, little MOSFET. This is at max airflow too. There we go. That actually didn't look that bad. That could have stayed, but why? Had one come back because of internal board short after I fixed first problem. Worked fine for like a week, then board short. That happens. This is an error too, actually. I have a lot of errors that come in here. So, wait for Hakko to get hot. 6 to 12-month warranty here, unless it's Apple. Apple, everything for me is warranted 12 months. So I'm offering pretty much the same as manufacturer warranty on it, which is kind of dumb, but I haven't had a problem. It's not like I'm covering the whole board, it's what I do. That's what everyone should do. You know, don't cover stuff that you don't do. It's 1 year on whatever I do. I'm not going to cover it if your MCP dies or something on an old board that So what I did here is just put a little leaded solder down to help in wicking, because we got to clean this area up. I don't care if the MOSFET, if it stuck getting MOSFET happens at times and the MOSFET isn't actually bad. Well, I don't know. If it's corroded and stuck, it probably shouldn't be on that board, because it's not going to work long term, or it might fail down the line, and I'd rather not have that chance of it failing and just replace it, The MOSFET cost me 10 cents, Too much stuff in the way for my iron. It's a pain. There's a coil right by it. It's just annoying. See, 1 month warranty, I wouldn't get any work. People would just, they'd go somewhere else. I gotta turn the board. These caps are in the way and they're getting on my nerves. I don't really have any competition either, at least local. But then again, none of my work comes from local. Nobody, well, very little have MacBooks on here. Not, I don't want to say that, but at least they go to Santa Clarita, it's a city nearby, and go to the Apple store. That's what I'm going to change here. It's very soon, because I'm going to look into a storefront, you know. You don't want to overdo it with solder on these pads right here. Actually, I want more flux. What's this green stuff in the flux? It's odd, I've never seen that before. Gonna have to turn the board again. It's in a really lousy spot. That's why I did this one first. It's gonna be the worst one. There we go. So we're going to do this FET first. Plenty of solder on the pads. Now let's get our donor board. Same exact port. This is an A2000165 that I replaced. Another dead CPU with no liquid damage. So we're going to steal that MOSFET. And capacitors and everything else that we need. I'm going to preheat the board a little bit because I don't want to damage the MOSFET. On the other board, I don't really care about damaging the MOSFET, so I just moved right in on it. On this one, I got to preheat it a little bit to get the board hot, and then I'll take the MOSFET off. Come on. MOSFET flew away. And let's see, which way does it go? Get a little more flux down there. Hate when that happens. Thing is, this kind of stuff does not happen unless I'm streaming. Happens every time. Take down my air a little bit. I just use a ton of flux, helps it easier. We fix everything from electronics to ATMs to washing machines. See, I don't. I try and stick to MacBooks. I generally don't like touching anything else. Come on. Let it solder. You should be melting by now. There we go. That's what you want when it jiggles. That one's soldered. Now we get this little cap. Come on. This one I think I'm going to solder with my iron, because I think I'll melt the connector. I could just do that. You need plutonium. I don't know what that is. Come on, get hot. There you go. Purest form of rosin flux. I guess. I just use the stuff from Lewis, Amtech 559. Does a good job. Don't have an issue with it, so I don't know. I'd rather use what I'm comfortable with and what I've been using, but it really doesn't matter. No. One thing I don't use is chip quick flux. It makes me sick. I mean, it gives me a headache and that's soldered horrible. Fix that up. Where did that solder ball go? I don't want that getting in between something or under something that's not supposed to be in. So what I'm going to do now is heat this. Should flow into place. There we go. And now, let's make sure I didn't melt anything. Nope. It's good. Got a little resistor or something there. Maybe an inductor, I don't know. The board view is actually wrong for this board. So that area is done. Make sure it still works after it cools down. No, we'll just start moving on. Yeah, I guess I should replace that. Let me Google that. That flux. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But that doesn't have, like, the Amtech has, solvents and stuff in it that really helps remove corrosion and stuff. You don't want just pure flux, I don't think. It's kind of like motor oil. You don't want just base oil. It needs to have additives and stuff like that in the oil itself to, you know, do the same thing. Where did that go? That concerns me. Well, fell off. My tweezers are really bad right now. I need to get new tweezers. And this is for SMC reset, I think. That could stay, I think, but it doesn't look that bad. Now this, I don't know what this does. Let's have a look on the board view what that does, because I don't know. USB controller. That can stay though. I don't care about that. What I care about is this little thing that I just replaced here, which is it's just a sensor. Since it was quarter fan spinning, the board, when I first got it, the fan would spin for a second, then stop. Or a spin for, you know, a good, you know, second and a half, then shut off and not come back on. Any kind of issues like clock or BIOS, it'll just turn like a little quick second, but any kind where it spins for a couple seconds and shuts off, that's telling me it's a sensor, probably on our main power rail, and this little component that I just removed is for that. So that could have been a cause of our issue right there. We're going to go ahead and replace that as well. Make sure you guys can see what I see. This thing keeps losing focus. Stream output low. How does the stream look on your end? I don't know how it says output low, so anybody in chat, please let me know if it's having any issues. This chip right here doesn't need to go anywhere. This does not look bad. The little sensor looks okay. Doesn't have to be. Okay. Should be in HD. It's just saying output low, so the main concern is buffering. Before I continue, I need to fix this tweezer situation. Bend my tweezers back a little bit. These Hakko tweezers, they don't last very long. They're great, but they don't last long. I mean, I'm getting not very much use out of them before I have to replace them, which isn't good. Come on. There we go. Anyone that, you know, thinks they can't do this because of their hands being not steady. This is my hand, okay? It's not required for this job. It's hard to keep it steady, especially when, you know, like I don't have it. If I'm trying to hold it steady, I can, but if I'm just like over it, fine. But if I have to, you know, to be gripping onto something, but if it just, you know, depends on the day. Yeah, an iPhone, I've tried to do them. I mean, I can do them, but I'd rather just send it somewhere. I don't like doing them at all. It's good. This right here looks okay. What we're going to do to remove this little bit of corrosion. This is not a problem, but I still don't want it here, and the corrosion could have degraded the solder joints a little bit, and they could fall apart during ultrasonicking. So what we're going to do is, well, let's do this. Kind of reflow these joints and make them clean again. That's all you need to do. You guys probably couldn't see this because the stupid thing went out of focus. Yeah, see, on iPhones, I mean, now I'm kind of debating this LCD connector. The solder looks kind of, yeah, I probably should replace that. It doesn't look bad, but it is corroded. I don't want to leave it on the board. Again, the whole 1-year warranty thing. This will only take a minute to solder anyway. Just give them a new one. Rather than have it come back, it's probably okay, but it did get corroded. You don't want corrosion in there no matter what, so. It wasn't that bad. That could have stayed, honestly. But yeah, I refilled the joints. It didn't look that bad, but too late. These only take a second to change, and what do they cost, you know? The LVDS connector did have some corrosion on it, so the inside of the connector is probably corroded. You know, why leave it? It's not the outside pins, it's kind of the inside pins that I was concerned about. And like, see these pads right here? Those don't look very healthy. They're not bad, but we're gonna scrape them a little bit, make a cleaner, happier pad. Yeah, see how that one's kind of like falling apart. Yeah, I'll show you what we're gonna do on this one. So both these pins need voltage there. This is a high amperage. This is running your backlight for the screen. So what we're gonna do, this is kind of degraded, right? But this is not. See how there's this one big trace going to both of these? when we solder the connector, we're just going to put a bridge over these two, and that way we don't have to do anything with this pad. You can't really see it that well in the microscope, but it's kind of iffy, and I don't want to, risk that causing a problem. It's not necessarily that; it's one pin can't supply the full, the full load of the screen. So, get our LVDS connectors. Better safe than sorry. That's absolutely right. What I find is, yeah, I could save money on a $2 connector, right? But then when the customer says, 2 months later, my backlight's not working, then you have to pay for a label and everything, and then the customer's not happy, and the customer's going to leave you a 1-star review, Why not just place it, do it right the first time so it doesn't have to come back next time? That looks okay. Where do you get your connectors? I get mine from Lewis, so I don't know how shipping will be from New York to Europe, but I know he sends them there, so. I get pretty much all my parts from Lewis. There's some stuff that he doesn't stock, so most of it's either from donor boards from Lewis. Donor boards or from Lewis. If I can't get it from there, then there's a couple other places, but usually I'm covered. Now be really careful on this pin right here. You don't want to put too much there, solder there, or you'll end up with solder in the screen connector, and that's a pain to deal with, so just use the bare minimum to get it soldered like that. It should be fine. Now, that doesn't look aligned the best. Yeah, you know what? I gotta move it just a hair because I pushed it over. I don't know. No, that'll be fine, I think. I'll make that work. So see how like some of the pins are lined up and some aren't? I think that's just a defect in the connector. My last two were like that. So, I'm pretty sure these connectors are copied from China. I don't think we can get OEM Apple connectors. So it's just a slight gap, but we'll make it work. So, soldering LVDS connectors. I hope most of you know this by now, but I'm doing this on camera, which I'll probably screw up, but don't go pin by pin. That's a real pain. Drag like that. Done. Simple as that. Don't waste time, soldering pin by pin. Of course, we're going to check for bridges, but that should be just fine. Ow, I just burned myself. The iron's hot. The holder's hot. Don't worry too much about those. Just look real close for bridges now. There's no bridges. All the pins look soldered. At least these guys aren't. Now they are. These guys don't look the best soldered. There we go. Another quick test you can do is just run your tweezers along, see if any of them move. They're not. These are all fine. This one's soldered right here, this post. We're going to do the next one over here. Not that. There. See? Easy stuff. Simple as that. That's done. Let's move on to the other side of the board. Actually, no. See this right here? Well, not my piece of solder, or whatever this is. But that shield probably got liquid under it, so what I like to do on these is, let's pop this off. This is probably going to fly up, so it may or may not go back on. I just like to, just in case little corrosion's under this chip, put a little flux in here, give it a little reflow. Just to help the ultrasonic to get any corrosion that's under it, just nothing major, just like that. So this had corrosion right here. This is the worst area of corrosion. This backlight driver did have some corrosion, so it's got to go. Our main area is this right here, so what we're going to do is not even care about what's good or bad. Don't even bother to test, just wipe this out. It doesn't bother staying on this board. If it has corrosion by it, get rid of it. It's not worth keeping. Almost out of flux. So this is actually Thunderbolt, and a lot of us know all too well what Thunderbolt can do to a working machine. Not too bad, but that can't stay on there. This little resistor's burned. You get out of here. Those other guys can stay. They're not bad. This cap looks nasty. So get out of here. There's corrosion under that, why leave it? These probe points don't look all the best. What we're going to do is just put a little solder on them so they don't fall apart in the ultrasonic. Those are fine right there. Those aren't connected to anything, so it doesn't really matter. Get our wick, clean up the area. MacBook Air repair. Brendan, this is a 820-00165 water damage. Simple one, hopefully. Thunderbolt circuit. Yeah, right now is a Thunderbolt circuit. Real nasty, so get rid of it. Flux is like kind of, it's what I noticed after a while. This Flux does not work all that well. Like when it's brand new, it works, but after a few months, it just doesn't seem to work the best. I don't know what that is. What causes that? Doesn't really make much sense to me. Alright, now let's start by get a new IC first. Wait, no, we need to put solder on that center pad before we place the IC. We don't want not to be any ground connection to the chip. It's too much solder, but who cares? Now I better take a little bit of that up. There. I don't like when I've had a couple times some bridges and stuff, and it's not worth it. Flux, cap flux off and put in. Yeah, I probably should. Yeah, oh well. It'll be fine. I don't care how big of a solder. I always put a lot of solder on the center pad. I never have. Once in a while I have issues, but usually I don't. It really doesn't matter. We're just going to do this. Come on, go into place. You're not into place. Go into place. Come on. There we go. A little more solder, or flux, whatever you call this stuff. Just make sure that's pushed down all the way. Yep. Now, as you know what we do, anyone that replaces these things know that these solder blobs are perfectly fine for QFN. Just touch up the soldering. We don't want any bridges, that would be bad. I don't feel like causing a fire today, so clean these up. And that should be good for there. Now, little capacitor and that little resistor. I think I'll do the resistor first. Just go on a low airflow because we're going to lose that if we don't. Come on. I'm also gonna throw a. I got a quick. It's a nice station. I like it. Does a great job. Had it about a year now. Highly recommended. I wouldn't recommend any other station. Alright, now the only thing left is the backlight driver, and since, like I said, that chip had a little corrosion under it, I cleaned it away, but I still want to replace it because they like to die, and I don't want to, you know, deal with that. So, the chip costs, what, 85 cents? I don't know. I don't know and I don't care. Kind of like a TriStar. Brand new LP 5550. You're gonna go through this chip a lot, so make sure to keep these on there. The second most replaced chip, I'd say. It's always a pain opening a new reel. I'd say backlight's one of my favorite circuits to repair. It's don't say that. I get the I just did a TriStar. It's not hard. This is an easy a real easy chip to change. Except when you have shaky hands and can't keep your hands still, then we could have some problems. That's lined up good enough. We're going to use low airflow. And so don't move in on the chip. What's going to happen is you're going to burn it and you're going to blow it away. It's going to move around, right? Get the board nice and hot. Keep this little guy lined up. Right, just try and line it up. I mean, I am failing at that. And I screwed it up. So, don't do what I just did, unless you want to screw it up. That would cause an explosion. So, how I did that, I don't know. I blew it away. We're going to use even lower airflow next time. get another chip. This is the benefit of doing a live stream, you know. You get to see the stuff you mess up, you know. This happens to all of us. This is not an SMC. When those break, those are a nightmare. Tweezer on both sides. Yeah, I don't. The thing is with that, sometimes when you move away, you'll move the chip, and yeah, if you have steady hands, that's fine, but I don't. We're going to use even lower airflow now. Let's just start from far away and heat it until it goes into place. Don't even tell me I did that again. No. This isn't going anywhere now. We're going to use a higher airflow. Yeah, see, that's off. What we're going to do now is hope this pulls itself into place. I'm not soldered. Let's look at it for bridges. Little bridges there. And that looks pretty good, don't you think? The main thing you don't want on these is that corner ball right there. You don't want that to bridge to backlight PWM. I'll show you. Backlight PWM is going to be on this next one right here. I need to go higher up on the scope. So, let's see if I can get it where you guys can see it decently. You don't want that ball to touch the one next to it. If you do, you will have problems. Here is why. One of these outputs 50 volts, okay? You do not want 50 volts going into your PCH. That would not be good. So, that's good. That's soldered. Everything looks good here. I think we're ready to test this. Let's make sure the fan still spins. Make sure we didn't mess anything up, because you never know when the fan won't spin. Hopefully I can find my DCM board. Put that back. No, where did I put it? Here it is. Then I'll test the backlight and show you guys. Hopefully it'll work and I'll blow up. spinning. Now let's test backlight. Just a quick test, nothing, not plugging anything in. And then this gets ultrasonic. Actually, I will put it in the enclosure just because I need to test main functions like Bluetooth, all that stuff. Actually, no, we're not done. I just remembered we have something else to replace. Bluetooth reminded me. We need to replace this little guy for SMC. Bluetooth is clean enough, but this guy has to go. That does SMC related stuff. And hey, look at that. It got so hot that either it got so hot or just a little manufacturing defect right here. See this guy right here? Lousy manufacturing, or the chip got so hot that it popped. Either way, we got to get rid of that. Then we can test for full functionality. You know, a lot of places will just reflow this stuff, and that's fine. It works. You know, it'll probably work as long as you take care of the solder joint. See, that wasn't that bad. This could have stayed. It would have worked, but I don't want to take a chance. I'd rather replace it. It gives the customer more confidence, and you know, I can warranty the board for 1 year, and it's not going to come back. You know, people will watch us and say that's unnecessary. You don't need to change. Well, I like to change it. You know, the customer's paying me a good amount of money since I've raised my prices this year, and why not change the 50-cent chip that's corroded, you know? Now we can test once the board cools off a little bit. We don't want that to, well, after I reassemble, it'll be cool enough to test. Alright. We don't need Wi-Fi, we don't need SSD or anything, we just need the basics to test. No. Your shop, your warranty. Yep. One thing I've you know, you got to do what you feel is best. You know, you can't listen to others that tell you, oh no, that's, you know, you need to do this. You need to follow what you think. You know. I'm not going to put this in all the way. Just going to plug it in, see if it works. We get backlight. It's this. I don't even know what the original issue is with this. It's we lost green light. Let's see. I/O connector seated. Customer didn't even give me what's wrong with it. They just said, you know, fix it. Apple coded this much. It didn't say it didn't have no backlight or anything. It just fix it. So, you know, I replace what's corroded, and then I will go through and after everything corroded is replaced and figure out why it's here. Exactly. Battery is plugged in. Oh, I know why it shut off. Is because I turned off my my power strip. That will cause the green light to go up because there's no power there. No chime. Is this no chime? Is this no image? What's wrong with this? Ah, no image. Do we get a chime? And do we have CPU V-core? Yeah, we're going to have a CPU V-core. We're not going to have a chime. Watch this. Oh, great. No chime. My favorite. Do I really want to do that now? Or do I want to work on a no backlight? So that's why it's here. It's no chime. No chime, fan on fast. That sounds like a missing platform reset. We have V-core. And we have one V05, but no chime. Let's put an SSD in and see if we maybe have backlight. Errors that don't chime are never fun. Just leave it at that. It's almost always, you know, CPU missing, especially the 00 last test radar you did was great. Thanks. The radar will be online. Paul, if you go on to you know, Paul, actually, what's your put your email if you want in chat, or send it to the address on my website, and I'll send you the link to where the radar will be online for like 2 days, starting at this next rain event. Okay, so we do actually have an image. We have no backlight. So let's go over no backlight. Maybe it was something I did, maybe it wasn't. Let's go over how to diagnose no backlight. Given the fact that I touched the driver, who knows what that could be? It could be a bad backlight driver. They get defects sometime, or I just soldered it improperly. So on backlight output, wait, get 8 volts, so it's not boosting. Now, what can cause no boosting? So flip it, and let's see. Backlight boost. Let's measure on the connector. Not on the connector, but on this filter. I think that's the filter, yeah. We get out of range We have 39 volts on backlight output. The backlight driver is doing its job. What's going on is there's no load on the backlight circuit. What causes no load? Connector, cable, screen. So, my most common suspect, especially after soldering an LVDS connector, is flux in the connector and in the on the cable. So what we're gonna do is clean this and clean the cable and hope it works. So the soldering on the backlight driver is actually fine. The issue is there's no, or fuse. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It could be the fuse. We will check the fuse. 1 second. We're just going to clean the connector off. Get all that flux out of there if there's any. Absolutely right. It could very well be the fuse. But this connector looks pretty bad, so we're going to clean it. Alright, the fuse. Let's check in diode mode. For the MOSFET. The fuse is fine. MOSFET could be bad. We'll check voltage on the fuse though. So we did have corrosion on these guys. What does that Thunderbolt? I don't care. So MOSFET, it could actually be the screen too. I just cleaned the connector, the cable, since the cable was pretty dirty. Let's try again. Nope. Yep, we have image, but we have no backlight. And no load, so let's check voltage on the fuse, because sometimes they could have, you know, diode mode across it, but under load the fuse is gone. So let's check voltage on the fuse. Did you bridge backlight pins? Nope. I should probably do that. .56 volts on one side, 8.52 volts on the other side. Yeah, I think you're right, that pad wasn't connected all the way. Pull the board out. Let's see. Still think it would have a load. I almost think that, no, maybe not. Both seem okay. They're both soldered down. I don't think that's an issue. Streaming at, no, I shouldn't be streaming at low res. It should be, you know, 1080p. It looks fine on my end. Wonder if the connector is messed up somehow. Could even be the screen is no good. No, I don't think so. I think the screen is okay. So I put a bridge there. See anything else over here that would cause it? Unless that filter is blown. That filter doesn't look blown though. Usually when they blow, they're all charred and burned literally. So let's have a look. That filter is open. We have a short. Yep, blown filter. I knew it. Alright, so... Oh wait, no, that's a capacitor. Never mind. Looked like a filter. Alright, let's test again. Starting to think it might be a screen. The cable looks okay. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look the best either. But no load. So the driver's fine. The driver is boosting, has 39 volts. Without screen, what do you get on the backlight line? You're not going to get anything because it won't detect the screen. It needs to be plugged in to get voltage. It's recognizing the screen, there's just no load on it. So that means a couple things. Plug it back in, let's test. It actually has, on your fuse there's PP bus G3 hot. On the actual backlight output, it's 39 volts, and that means there's no load on the screen. Is there still... I can't see, but no, there's still no backlight after that bridge, so that's good. I'm going to review myself here. Oh, I didn't click that. So no load could be the display, it could be the cable, it could be the connector. So what do you think? Should we try a new connector? I don't know. Could be the cable, could be the screen, could be the connector at this point. So let's try a new connector. If not, we're going to need to get a screen. I don't think the connector is bad because it's, you know, kind of hard for the connector to, yeah, you're right, connector is well installed. Let's just double check the soldering. Maybe we'll get lucky and notice an abnormality somewhere. No, that's fine. no issues in there whatsoever. Okay, so at this point, it's the screen. Yep, it's the screen. So let's look at a price for a screen. The board is working. And I'll get the customer a quote. Whether that means they do it or say we don't want it fixed, I don't know. That's an A1466. It's a early 2015. Display assembly. I'm just about to end the stream anyway, so thank you for watching. Okay, so this is going to get a new screen, and that's about it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.